Back here, first things first, now joined by our quarterback, Mike Vick. Mike, I'll tell you, I didn't see this one coming. Odell Beckham Jr. going to the LA Rams, choosing the Rams over the Packers, over the Chiefs, over the Seahawks, even over the Patriots, Kevin Wildes. It is a one-year deal for Odell. This team is all in this year. Stacked offense with Stafford, Woods, and Kupp, and a stacked defense. Remember, they just picked up Von Miller. Von posting his FaceTime with Odell yesterday saying, let's chase this ring. Mike Vick, is this guaranteed to work?
I think it's guaranteed to work, Jenna, because if it's any quarterback that knows how to use a #1 receiver or make a guy a #1 receiver, it's Matthew Stafford. The success that he had with Megatron in Detroit speaks for itself, and I think they'll position Odell the same way, but the compliment is the other guys that surround him, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. I called this a couple of days ago. I felt like this was the best fit for Odell, and he would have a certain level of success in the short term. Now, I don't know if this is a long-term play, but for right now, the Los Angeles Rams threw all their chips in, and they're going all in with Odell Beckham. So I like the mesh. I like the parity on offense, but it's not about them on offense. I think it's about the defense and what they bring, just acquiring Von Miller and Aaron Donald, and still got Jalen Ramsey. So I think right now, you know, this is probably one of the most complete teams in the National Football League. They just got to go out and make it happen on the field and not just have it look good on paper. So it's an exciting time for the Los Angeles Rams, but they're going to be under the microscope because now everything is aligned for them to make that run and play in a Super Bowl in their home stadium.
And Vic, I heard you the other day say you thought the Rams made sense, and I almost text you because I was like, man, yeah, Odell lives in L.A., loves L.A., they're all in, but they just cut Deshaun Jackson. Like, they're not adding a wide receiver. I thought you were crazy, and you were absolutely right. So credit to you, because nobody was attaching the Rams to Odell. We were talking about a bunch of different places, and he ends up there. And now that he's there, it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. He loves the city. They're going to be in the playoffs. Stafford's a good quarterback. The team has pushed all their chips in the middle of the table. Why wouldn't he go there? In the short term, Wildes, here's what I know. Unequivocally, in the Odell-Baker divorce, in the short term, Odell's going to look like the winner. Of their final 8 games, 4 of them for the Rams are the standalone or near standalone national television game, either Monday Night Football or the Fox Game of the Week at 4:25 Eastern against big-time opponents. And Odell's going to make big plays and score touchdowns because even as talented as Odell is, when you're playing the Rams offensively, you have to focus on Cooper Kupp. The guy's got 1,000 yards. No one else in the league has 900. He's got more catches than anyone in the league. The only person close is Tyreek. More targets than anyone in the league. The only person close is Tyreek. You have to stay focused on Cooper Kupp. And Robert Woods is a legitimate top-flight #2 receiver by himself. And Sean McVay likes to run the ball, which if you give him run looks, he'll take that every day of the week. So I think Odell, in the short term, is going to look very good. Now, I'll discuss later why I still think the Rams' Super Bowl path could be a very rocky one. But over the next month, I think it's going to be, I think the biggest loser in this is going to be Baker. Because I think Odell's going to look awesome. I think the Rams' offense is going to look really good. And I think it's going to be like, oh, yeah, that wasn't on Odell at all. He was right to want to get out of Cleveland. So I think in that regard, Wildes, it will work.
Yeah, so I think it will work on paper. But, Mike, I wanted to share an excerpt from one of Phil Jackson's book and get your take on this. Phil Jackson, in one of the books that he wrote, I forget which one, said there's 2 ways to beat a team. You can scheme a team and beat them, or you can cause them to beat themselves. And he specifically talks about a game that they played where one guy had signed a monster contract and the other guy had not. And Phil Jackson's plan going into that game was, we're going to let the guy who signed the monster contract get whatever he wants. Get whatever he wants. And the guy who needs the monster contract and is a little bit jealous of the monster contract, and we're going to shut him down completely, and then we're going to watch the team kind of crumble from within. Ended up working. Do you think that type of philosophy could be used against the Rams? Where we know Odell, big stage, Hollywood, wants the ball. Is there a way that you could scheme, like, you know what? Let Cooper Kupp get his. Let's shut Odell down and wait. For the first time, Odell gets a little frustrated with Matthew Stafford and watch that team crumble. Do you think that is a risk with the Rams?
Well, it's a risk and it's always a possibility. Opposing teams can come in and say, look, we're going to take Odell Beckham completely out of this game. We're going to cloud coverage him. We're going to double him. He's not going to be the one that beat us. We're going to make other guys beat us. But the thing for the Los Angeles Rams right now is that you have Odell Beckham, and sometimes you can use him as a decoy. You can use him as the primary receiver. His presence on the field alone speaks for itself, so you got to account for him. He's going to be moved around and put in different spots. You can take advantage of him in the run game, pass game. Odell can run block. He can do a lot of things within the offense that can help the offense continue to move and march down the field. So I think if a team comes in and say, look, Odell Beckham will not beat us, then you got Van Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Sean McVay knows how to use these guys.
Mike, does Odell want to be a decoy? Does he want to block? Does he want to be a second option, a third option? I mean, you think he's leaving Cleveland so he could be the #1 guy, the #1 target, the #1 option somewhere. That's clearly not the case in L.A.
Jenna, the quickest way for a receiver to become obsolete is to not block in the run game. If you don't block in the run game, then you'll be on the bench. That's just like dropping 4 or 5 passes. You got to block when a run play is called. You got to be a decoy sometime to open it up for other guys. And it's something that you have to be committed to. If not, it'll show up on tape when teams are exploited.
And I'm going to give Odell credit that, you know, he picked the Rams. He knows what they run. He knows who's on the team. So it's not like the Rams didn't claim him off waivers, and now he's like, I wanted to be in New Orleans and be the #1 option. He picked the Rams, so I think he's okay with it. My concern for the Rams is very simple. 5 teams in the NFC matter. Cowboys, they're guaranteed to win their division. Packers, they're guaranteed to win their division. Buccaneers, I believe, with respect to the Saints, they're guaranteed to win their division. And then there's the Cardinals and Rams, same division. One of those 2 teams is going to be on the road the entire playoffs. Right now, that team would be the Rams. And as talented as they are, we can show it quickly, this is their path to the Super Bowl if the playoffs started today. On the road at Dallas, then on the road at Arizona, then on the road at Green Bay or Tampa. And so if they don't catch Arizona in the division, no matter how much talent they are, it might be too difficult of a path. But I want to ask Vick a direct question because to me, it's the obvious one, and I'm going to kind of, Wilds alluded to this earlier. So Wilds, I apologize if this is something you want to do, but I know we're short on time. Once upon a time, and I hate to bring it up, Vick, because we've done it before, you were on a team people called the Dream Team. Oh my God, look at all this talent. The Rams, people are going to say, oh my God, look at all this talent. Did that weight of expectation, is that, in your opinion, one of the reasons that team didn't achieve what its ultimate goals were and underachieved, to be fair? And do you have that concern with the Rams?
Yeah, shout out to my man Vince Young for making that comment. He just don't know, indirectly he put so much pressure on us that we couldn't even focus. So every game we felt like we had to win, and we already had pressure. We had signed Nnamdi Asomugha, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and you look at the team and you almost feel like if it's Super Bowl or bust. And the Los Angeles Rams have to feel that way, especially after signing Von Miller and adding all these extra pieces to the puzzle in order to chase this championship. So, yes, it's pressure within that.
You guys see what's happening here, right? LeBron still recruiting. He